However, given the purple berry's non-zero nutritional value and low growing costs, impatient Auntie's Choice Administration officials directed their labs to find ways to remove the parasite from the berry. A variety of methods were tested and found effective, but they were all time consuming and wasteful of the edible portion of the purple berries, so these methods were deemed non-cost-effective and rejected out of hand. Eventually, the answer was found not in a lab, but in a history book. Specifically, a history text on Saltuna, a crossbreed of two different earth fish species called salmon and tuna, was found that contained a reference to anisakid nematodes, or salmon worms, with an estimated 70 to 90% of all salmon being infected by these parasites. More importantly, the text contained the solution to eradicating
all
these
those Auntie's
parasites.
Choice adverts claiming each new product is 110% this and that, as if numbers are just another adjective unmoored from evidence. Doesn't it enrage you?
Come now. You can't really expect truth in advertising.
It's not the mistruths. It's the cavalier liberties taken with basic mathematics. How can every product be 110% better? What does that even mean?
Have you tried the new Borstwurst, Marisol?
Of the berries without affecting their texture or flavor in any discernible way. The microscopic
I'd say it's at least 110%, maybe 120% better than whatever passed for meat paste in the last formulation.
With this inept solution. Purple berries are now a common nutritional and flavoring agent throughout the colony worlds. Mindless Auntie's Choice consumers especially purchase a large variety of purple berry-themed foods and beverages, all of them mislabeled parasite-free. More accurately, the label should read live parasite-free. But in any case, Auntie's Choice once again demonstrated their contempt for their customers, for nature, and for any pretense of safety. Another reason this documentarian is grateful for our order's fabricated nutritional foodstuffs. OA Archive transcription number 3918-4 ends here.
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless. You are a necessary part of the plan. Therefore, you need to be part of the Order of the Ascendant. Drop by our predictory today and find out how you can take an active part in your future. Keep put, much is left to come. Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
Replicator at ready status. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. It's a brawl.
Traveling at the velocity of light through the vacuum of space on our primary band, this is Grand Plan Wireless, the informed, sourced, peer-reviewed sound of scientism. An ongoing prolongation of existence advisory remains in effect for all presently transiting the Golden Ridge region. Utmost caution is highly urged. Refugees and travelers report targeted ambushment by desperate pharmaceutical-addled, chemically dehanced societal cast-offs who have succumbed to a life of pilferage and plunder. Auntie's choice troops have been espied bivouacked in trenches crisscrossing the highlands. And although a ceasefire exists, a healthy degree of circumspection remains advised. Newly introduced invasive species deposited here by Auntie's choice have been determined to be territorial, toothsome, and aggressive. Travelers are instructed to closely monitor their surroundings at all times whilst peregrinating outside inhabited areas. Those choosing to heed said forewarnings are predicted to have a 14.7% higher chance of survival.
In closing, a potentially incongruent word of advice. Invariably find a way to turn your negatives into positives.
And now, additional data and/or music determined to facilitate cognition.
Let me
Avid followers of our predictive playlists are already aware of which song follows.
check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Visit your local predictory.
I have a fix on their weaknesses. Anyone else? Here, a medic? Back in business. Combat vitals are in the red, Commander. Let's get you healed. Out of sight and on the way.
Someone call for a medic.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
You've checked your work and verified your data. Send in your proof. Don't wait for later. You've crossed your T's. You've dotted your I's. The only thing that's left is publicize. QED, quickly elucidate and demonstrate. QED, get to the point and do not vacillate. Quickly elucidate and demonstrate. QED, get to the point and do not vacillate.
You have tuned your receiver to Grand Plan Wireless. We verify before we amplify.
The future of nourishment is here. Apogee chips, shelf-stable and intestinally safe. Tomorrow's favorite snack is available today.
From the Order of the Ascendant. Ever bear in mind, we are molecular machines, our bodies a tuft of atoms, our minds a result of chemical reactions, our lives predestined along paths clear only.
Welcome
in
back.
retrospect.
With your help, we've nearly got our last auto dock functioning again. Tell me you have more coils for me. Remarkable. That is enough to get all of the auto docks back up and running. With them, we can save all the remaining wounded. Words can't begin to express my gratitude. I and all of Auntie's Choice. Thank you.
Don't know why, but I do feel a bit better. Alva would have liked that, I think.
You return again and again like a particularly unshakable rash. Is there some compelling cause? When you walked into my chaos, I never fathomed you'd become such a boon to my personal endeavors. Job done and payment proffered. And if that concludes our business for the moment, I kindly ask you to vacate my outpost. I have much to do.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Thank law the displaced listen to reason. Think of the cost if our predictions had not been heeded.
From a medical standpoint, the taxidermist doctor was an unconventional choice. But I can't deny the results. A little token of my appreciation for a job well done. Now, will there be anything else? I can tend to your injuries, provided you have the bits to compensate me for my time and skill. We're short on everything, I'm afraid, including generosity. Many thanks. Now, hold still. You might experience some momentary discomfort. Right as rain. Now, will there be anything else? My supplies are running low, but then again, so are my bits. Very well. Suppose I can't help anyone if I'm poor.
Grand Architect! First an attack on the monastery and now the lift code's not working? Agent, oh thank good odds and high probabilities you're back. There's been an incident. A rogue faction has taken over the monastery. My seer, Seer Wiley, is trapped up there with other hostages of the Order. To make matters worse, my access code's not working. Without it, I've no way of calling the lift. No, I've known Landon for years. You must be mistaken. If what you say is true, that is damning evidence indeed. But why would he do it? Align himself against the Order? Against a friend? That's a serious accusation. Why would I do such a thing? Far from it. I celebrate Wiley's gifts. I recognize he's a far superior scholar than I'll ever be. No, I can't discuss this right now. The monastery. The truth is, I held Wiley back. I kept him from advancing for my own selfish gains by spreading lies and false concern over his competence behind his back. But I needed him. I still need him. I'm not the savant he is, never have been. If he'd advanced beyond his current role, my deficiencies would have been made manifest to all. I'm sorry, but we really haven't the time to litigate this issue further. In case I didn't make it clear before, the monastery is currently in jeopardy.
Sanctuary devoted to time and space.
Peace talks? Yes, Ruth informed me, but how did you learn of them? No one outside a select circle are supposed to be aware they're happening. Representatives of Auntie's Choice and the Order are meeting to discuss an armistice and possible collaboration. It's an unprecedented opportunity to shorten this war. I know I mentioned it before, but compartmentalization is crucial to the success of most of the Order's operations. I wish I could offer more details than that.
She who ushered us to the stars comes complete with its own observatory. A feat of aesthetics only surpassed by its vast...
But I'm afraid I won't be accompanying you. I can't be sure my presence wouldn't alter the outcome of your efforts in prodigious and unforeseen ways.
The observatory processes a...
Once you reach the monastery, make your way to the observatory. If the conspirators are seeking the coordinates of the talks, no doubt their efforts will be concentrated there. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you.
36.7 qualitatively valid reasons why Alexandra Monastery counts among our notable locations of scientific inquiry.
I assure you these traitors haven't factored us into their equations. Ready to be the hole in their math?
Stand by. Stand by for further stimulating content. Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not.
Are you
Now
sure
for
that
a
rope
new
can support
song.
us?
I am 100% certain that its tensile strength is marginally greater than our combined weight. Probably.
Wait! Look! Someone just came up via the lift! It must be unlocked!
6, 5, 3, 5, 8, 9, 7, 9, 3, 2,
Watch out for Wiley. He's accounted for everything. He'll know you're coming.
We'd love to help, but not as much as we'd prefer to leave. Plan guide you.
3, 3, 8, 3, 2, 7, 9, 5, 0, 2. 8, 8, 4, 1, 9, 7, 1, 6, 9, 3, 9. 9, 3, 7, 5, 1, 0, 5, 8, 2, 0, 9, 7, 4, 9. How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I? How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I?
Void it all! I told him he wasn't going to make it! Is this why Wily Zilk spared him? Because the seer already predicted this would be his fate? Roger always said he wanted his body donated to the Order if it'd help advance the plan. But I'm sure this wasn't... Hey! Body's not even cold yet! Show a little respect! Can any of this really be in service to the universal equation, like the seers claim?
How many numbers am I?
Seer Wiley said I wasn't on his list and let me go. I don't understand. Where's the abbot? Why isn't he doing something?
1, 6, 4, 0, 6, 2, 8, 6, 2, 0, 8, 9, 9, 8, 6, 2, 8, 0, 3, 4, 8, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I? How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I?
That's all bluster. We're an unpredicted variable in his equations, and he knows it.
That song was odd because it is the number 3 song this week. And now a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
Your eyes pierce mine like an ionic bomb.
attraction. Did we ever find a perfect calculation? Were we destined to a faulty form of passion? When we talked about the role of oxygen, you broke my heart when you countered that with phlogiston.
Nice of Seer Wiley to leave us this nightlight.
Hostile in proximity.
Rejuvenation device.
That device may be the deciding factor in whether you live or die in the near future. Unless you can expedite hemostasis and delivering new tissue and grow within a fraction of a second.
Dynamic
But I have been told my
It never remained constant. It was impossible to decrease. Caught in a catalyst, leading to combustion.
Looks like a...
From chaos to decomposition of this fatal attraction.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Rafts back in business.
And now,
Stun weapon ready, Commander.
statistical improbabilities are unconcerning regarding product research and designed to increase energy, efficiency, creativity, and focus.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Complex food.
Time to earn my commission.
From the Order of the Ascendant.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
People do not count as much as
Go for torpification.
this popular number.
Assessing. Nauseating.
Ancient times we learned of their existence. When triangles first measured by their distance, on a sea that was well known as the Aegean.
Found another one. Damn it. I knew there'd be a high probability of fighting, but I didn't think.
No ratio of two numbers.
Document every corner you find so we have an accurate head count later.
These numbers that we henceforth call irrational. Can you give me an example that is true? Of course. The number when you square the root of 2. Explain. An isosceles.
This looks a lot like those N-ray junction boxes. Still got the scanner on you?
The length of the longest distance cannot fully be expressed by anyone. They're irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is rational. Are there any numbers you can name us? Are there any numbers that are famous? A ratio known as
Grand Architect's perspiring brow. If you try to cite the fourth pillar to me one more time, scientific scientific advancement should not come at the cost of the grace and dignity of innocent lives. That is all I am saying.
Attempt to square a circle and you'll need it. Don't confuse it with its homonym sibling. It's a number you cannot eat. They're irrational, 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 irrational. The remainder is mishmashinal. What's a number that has no ending? A number that we call transcending. A mathematics man named Euler. His work was that of genius and astounding. This number you see as a lowercase e to calculate with interest compounding. They're irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is mishmashinal.
Indelibly eradicate.
These numbers are so monumental.
Unfriendly nearby.
They're also known as transcendental. They're irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is mishmashinal. Remainder is
On this electrifying episode of Notable Locations of Scientific Inquiry, we travel well outside our zone of academical comfort to an objectively and verifiably shocking moonscape, where things go chomp and zap in the perpetual night. Experience a surge in stimulation as we enter an inhospitable planetoid, only made marginally habitable by our grounding station and electrical dispersion rods. The Elysium Moon Praetor is as fascinating to the mind as it is mortiferous to the body. Tidally locked in Elysium's shadow, Praetor suffers a distinct deficit of direct daylight. This unique astronomical arrangement bombards Praetor's surface with low-level radiance, resulting in a shocking level of atmospheric electricity. I will now pause for a moment to let you appreciate my intentional pun. Available for review in this episode's transcripts, footnotes, in case it escaped your attention. Moving on. Only heavily
I have a fix on their
predatory
weaknesses.
fauna eke out a brutal existence here, relying on their mesmerizing patterns of bioluminescence. We Homo sapiens should ostensibly stand no chance. If not for order astuteness in the field of fulminology, our grounding station and charge dispersal network mitigate the danger posed by Praetor's persistent electrical storms. In lay people's parlance, a network of lightning rods tie into the central grounding station via a combined 307.47 miles of subterranean high-tension wiring, thus providing a conduit for excessive electrical activity in the atmosphere to reach the grounding station,
Combatant
where it's
scan.
safely dispersed, typically. Tenured station operators estimate the system is 78% effective at mitigating 82% of the danger posed by hypercharged atmosphere.
Medkit coming your way!
System is
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Reversing the system's polarity will send surplus protons from the grounding station to any rod in the network.
And here I was, hoping for a peaceful, rejuvenating soak.
They are unwanted. One quick jolt, and they're off to the hereafter. Simply an intriguing possibility to consider as you mull the many fascinating facts behind the Praetor grounding station. Objectively, a notable location of scientific inquiry.
Addendum. Peer review of this episode post-recording revealed the subterranean grounding network is in fact 307.51 miles of wire instead of 307.47 miles as originally reported. We apologize profusely for this careless failure of basic fact-checking. The responsible researchers have been formally censured.
Additional erudite entertainment is forthwith. And now, more music to perform advanced calculations by.
The color of space, a chromospectral analysis. When asked about the average color of space, the famous stellar cartographer Newton Otisgard replied, with no hesitation, beige. To experienced lumen astronomers, his answer was the expected one. But I can already hear the obtuse listener bleating, with their faces contorted into a rictus of ignorance. Wouldn't the average color be black or white, or simply a shade of gray? No. No, it would not. The answer is rooted in the science of how hot objects absorb and emit light, which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars. To understand all of this, you must understand the basics of thermal divarication emission theory. The typical piece of non-heated matter absorbs most electromagnetic radiation that falls upon it, including light, infrared, and radio emissions. And the matter reflects only a small portion of that radiation. The visible part of that reflection is its color. However, most stellar objects generate far more radiation than they absorb, so they can be modeled as an idealized object, which is assumed to absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation and re-emit some based on its temperature and
Armed
composition.
conflicts are not the inevitability you are making them out to be, Anya, but rather the result of a populace failing to adhere to scientism's stoic imperative.
Oh, and I suppose we're going to pretend the second pillar doesn't exist. I must have just imagined reading Alfred Long's 75 thesis on determinism then.
Anchorites, be warned. Any conversation with these two may prove pedantic.
Through red into orange, then yellow, then white. Even rare blue stars exist. These are the
I'm aware of the errors of his methodology, but Long's overall opinion is still... Wait, why am I arguing with you about this?
Actually, an outside opinion might be useful at this juncture. Our current topic is whether war is ever justified. For the sake of time, please keep your answer brief.
also emits bluish and or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar...
But what if widespread suffering is already taking place?
Then its causes should be observed, quantified, and a non-violent solution found. You do not extinguish a fire with more flame.
Tell that to the Protectorate.
We're going in circles again. If only we had access to the materials we requested, perhaps we could settle this debate.
Chromospectral survey was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each...
Lack of a door, for starters.
You're currently standing outside of an anchor hold. My colleague and I have chosen to permanently enclose ourselves within this cell to lead a life of concentrated purpose. As anchorites of the Order, it is our duty to postulate on the universe's perplexities for the benefit of observers. In this way, we advance the plan through empirical knowledge.
The result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical coordinate model of color space, the hue is 42 degrees, while the saturation is a mere 9%.
Who's to say we haven't tried?
My colleague is joking. The answer to your question is simple. All anchorites undergo extensive testing before being admitted to such a calling. You might say we are compatible.
So go forth, neophytes.
We observe periods of rest like all living creatures, but otherwise, yes. When in conversation, we welcome all to attend and learn.
We have privacy curtains. It's less trouble than you're making it out to be.
Thank you. That is the intention.
You are listening to Grand Plan Wireless, Arcadia's voice of reason.
need the book Only Real Numbers, The Casualties of Appeasement by Exemplar Kwong. Second edition, not the first. That's important.
And I require Archivist Mahler's dissertation on de-escalation theory. You should be able to locate both pieces of scholarship in the scriptorium. I'd also caution against borrowing additional titles. The scribes are absolute fusspots when their work goes missing.
Problems to increase your profundication, but I don't see that as the best solution in your case.
I'm sure I have no notion of what you're referring to.
Purchase a small rubber ball and learn to bounce it. Best of luck.
Good for him. About time someone put theory into application.
What my colleague means is Landon Wiley is among our most gifted and dedicated seers. Whatever actions he's taken must be in service of the plan. I do hope no one's been hurt, though. I see. That is distressing to hear. But as we in the Order like to say, the plan actuates by deliberate means. Let us hope this conflict resolves itself soon.
Augustine? Sure. She's got a mind for provocative hypotheticals. Asked a lot more interesting questions than we normally get.
I will add it has been some time since we last saw her. Not since before the schism, in fact. Why do you ask?
Augustine was obsessed with the rift. She wanted to know all the potential routes the Order might take to deal with it. We explained that the rift is an aberration of the plan's natural order, corrupting time and space and creating uncertainty. Consequently, all efforts should be made to close it.
Apologies, but gossip doesn't fall under our purview. We've secluded ourselves here to avoid such distractions, so I would thank you to exclude us from any remote drama. Much appreciated. We'll present our final arguments once you've returned with the research.
My heart's complex equation.
Position.
-1 to the power.
Looks like a fight. The plan will be terminated.
I know this ain't gonna get to the abbot, but I have complaints that need registering anyhow. This monastery's too big for the staff we've got, And it sure seems like the scienticians and theorists here ain't fixated on keeping neat. I might just be a novice, but at 73 years of age, I've enough self-respect that I shouldn't be picking up another body's labation towels. Still, ain't as bad as it was in Auntie's choice.
Armed and ready.
I just ask you folks to remember that there's more of importance out here than just your numbers.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Today based on arithmetic-based harmonic progressions. My name is Edmund Vandersmythe, and I am the senior tenured laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numismatics for the Order of the Ascendant. Today's lecture will focus on the generation of prime numbers, techniques, and uses thereof. I know. Prime numbers? Why so simplistic? Well, consider
this is one of our products. You know, market research says that a populace is more likely to tolerate new leadership if given appealing merchandise. Maybe it's working.
What a prime number is, despite the fact that you should have learned that definition decades ago while still in diapers. But no matter. I have been called many things, and repetitious is one of them. I have also been called redundant several times, and once I was called reiterative, if you can believe that. So, prime numbers. What are they? The simplest definition is this. Given the set of natural numbers greater than 1, let's call that set n2, then a prime is any number in the set n2 that is not itself a product of two other numbers in the set n2. A simple definition. Elegant, even. Uplifting. Almost ascendant, you could say. But not redundant.
Keep to the line, Commander.
Eliminate the target! Frequently,
I'm batting scared.
A prime number, since nothing can divide it other than itself. And the answer is simple, you silly lay person. If the definition of a prime number, then nothing else would be a prime number. And then what good are prime numbers? Wait, you ask, what good are prime numbers? Why would we want to find and use prime numbers? There are all kinds of abstract number theory applications, and that should and would be sufficient reason to want them. But there are also, how should I say, practical applications, such as maintaining the security of bit cartridges. In fact, our archive uses primes for that reason and many more. The archive incorporates prime numbers for storage and retrieval on its ultra-efficient system of data bricks, as well as using prime numbers in the process of checking its memory stores for corruption, lest its calculations be tainted by such. But if you strive to become a numismatics researcher, there are several open questions in the area of prime number study. One such question is this. Is every even member of the set n2 besides 2 a sum of 2 primes? It seems to be so, but no one has ever proven this conjecture. Similarly, are there an infinite number of prime pairs that differ by only 2 in their value?
Well, this is quite modest. Very simple and austere. Can hardly guess who lives here.
How selfless of him to safeguard this finery for his people's own good.
Senior tenured laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numismatics for the Order of the Ascendant. Such a lofty, and dare I say, elegant goal. Good disquisitions to you all, and good day.
This is Grand Plan Wireless, broadcasting soothing tunes for your audio canal and enriching content for your cerebral cortex around the chronometer until we achieve ascension. For those of you away in the field or heads down in research during our last shared learning symposium, we offer the following rescreening of Vicar Magsaysay's presentation.
Welcome to Zeranium and You, a brief accounting of this crucial material. Though minute amounts were first discovered in the Beta Draconis system, Zeranium wasn't found in significant quantities until the terraforming of Cloister and Eden. Since it's become the principal power source for all recognized inhabitants of the system. But it's not without its dangers, and, at low risk, efficient utilization took time. Zeranium in its liquid state is volatile and explosive. In its gaseous form, it is toxiferous to organic material, but in its crystal state, it's practically putty in our hands. Not fully safe, of course, You wouldn't sprinkle Zeranium crystals on your nutrient bars, but they won't kill you on immediate contact. Certainly more harvestable in our Zeranium manufactory. Imagine years of jeopardous methodological experiments with extraction, refinement, and processing, from the harvesting of liquid Zeranium to grinding of crystals for higher yields. Now, Zeranium powers everything from laboratories and outposts to craft and weaponry, comparatively safely, and at a greater input-to-output ratio than any other known form of fuel. That is all for now. Until next time, keep hail and mind your calculations. Unlike parallel lines, I hope someday we'll meet.
Further beneficial content soon follows. Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
The stalwart agent arrives. I need more time to finish my work, so I've prepared a choice for you. The hostages in the card press before you will die unless you intervene. If you go through the door on the right, you'll find the means to save them by solving a simple puzzle. Leave through the other door, however, and they will die, screaming in abject terror. But how could you call yourself an Earth Directorate agent if you allowed that to transpire?
Well, this is a twisted way to try and stall us. But We can't just leave them.
As we visit Elysium's Ice Moon Cloister, home of the Archive.
Entirely depends on your priorities. My former department would say keeping on mission is of paramount importance. But I no longer think I agree.
Look, whatever the Seer and DeVries are doing, we'll have time to sort it out later. These folk don't have that kind of time. Good. Then let's get to freeing them.
Like the cut of your jib. Hard way it is, then.
Praise high probability. Wiley trapped us here. He let some others go, but didn't even give us the chance to surrender.
He's lost his wits. Kept going on about his puzzle in the research wing upstairs. That must be where he hid the key to stop the press.
Hurry!
2.7 billion thermionic valve switches perform the nitty-gritty of Boolean data calculation.
Well, that's one place to put a safe. Reckon it's part of Wiley's puzzle somehow.
Generates tremendous heat, which is dissipated by the thermal transfer system. 4,367.89 kilometers of feed and return pipes circulate coolant between Cloister's subsurface seas and the core assembly.
Reckon there's an actual solution to this puzzle? Looks more like they scrambled a whole lot of nonsense together and packaged it as genius.
Of 3,300 PSI. Deliberate human intervention.
Battle charge in process.
Looking a little woozy there, Commander.
Taking cover.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Caduceus may set the archive to
Standing
its
by to
tasks.
stupefy.
To outsiders, it appears we are waving a mathematical magic wand, but we know better. It's scientism. Alas, the facility has slipped from
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
A loss not only for scientism, but all of humanity. It is imperative that we recover the archive and resume its great purpose, solving
My
the
aftermarket
universal
parts
equation
are
to achieve ascendancy.
Addendum. Started this episode, the thermal transfer system size increased from 4,367.89
Reinstalling ammunition!
Combatant scan.
Do not deviate from this frequency.
Avid followers of our predictive playlists are already aware of which song follows. Interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical visit your local predictory.
If I measured every heartbeat and their electrical signals, would I find a value for love or divide my heart by zero? If I input every integer of an intimate connection into a computronic system, would my punch card face rejection? Love does not compute. The variables seem infinite. Love does not compute. It's both clear and ambivalent. does not compute. If all matter has mass, and thus exerts attraction, could I bear love's weight and measure, or be crushed beneath abstraction? Can I calculate truth or assumption? Where does love fit in a constant function? Love does not compute. The variables seem infinite. Love does not compute. It's both clear and ambivalent. Love does not compute.
Way to get the ball rolling.
Love does not compute. Love does not compute. Love does not compute. Love does not compute.
As determined, you're listening to Grand Plan Wireless, where transpiring events, philosophical profundities, informed insight into the future, also music. Until we in the Order solve the universal equation, we won't have all the answers, but for now, Vicar Magsaysay has most of them. Go on, ask a vicar. A listener asks, how does prediction work? Well, the intricacies are much too complex for the layperson to grasp.
This laborious exercise is obviously intended to consume precious time.
A description that even the shallowest minded among you might absorb.
Always happy to illuminate. We start with a person's life equation, as determined from the extensive questionnaire they filled out at their nearest predictory. Then, we perform a standard surface integration of the equation, leading, of course, to the production of an undetermined constant. But by using a single data point from their life event list, we can assign a value to that constant, leading to a simple to use, simple to understand life prediction equation. We can use additional points to not only validate our model, but also to improve its predictive accuracy. And we can use the resulting integration to predict future life events. And there you go. I knew you'd understand. In fact, I predicted it. Until next time, keep your queries coming.
Stay tuned for what follows. And now, a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
See? Didn't I tell you our friend would be back?
Hurry! Disable the card press machine!
Oh, thank the Ark!
Glad we saved those folk. But now we need to deal with the bastard behind all of this. Let's move.
Ranger, we should be okay here for now. Go pay Wily his just dividends. For all of us.
What did I tell you? All according to the plan.
Yeah, Wily's plan, which almost killed us.
You have tuned your receiver to Grand Plan Wireless. We verify before we amplify. Drink Maxima alcohol-free liquor.
The other brands may be 80 proof, but ours has 80 proofs. One printed on each label. Collect and study them all.
From the Order of the Ascendant. Whimsical computational jest 37A. Be like the minus operator and make a difference today. This popular number has been conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
One thing that you have to know, irrationality is good for the workflow. How can that be? Infinite, a measure of mystery, unveils the key to logic's asymmetry.